For tonight's interview, John Dickerson recently talked with Arthur Brooks, a best-selling author whose new book, The Happiness Files, provides a different way to think about what makes us happy.
So, Arthur, let's start where any good inquiry should start. Definition of terms.
Yeah.
What does happiness mean?
Yeah, well, let's start with what it's not. It's not a feeling. People think of happiness as a feeling, and this is where they go wrong. Feelings and happiness are related, like the smell of your turkey is related to your Thanksgiving dinner. Happiness is something more tangible, something real. It's a combination of three things: enjoyment, satisfaction, and meaning. Kind of like the protein, carbohydrates, and fat of your Thanksgiving dinner, as a matter of fact. And you can study and get better at all of those things. That's my work.
And people need to understand the difference between happiness and success, at least one of the, help people understand the distinction there.
Well, people believe, because Mother Nature, this is not about the economy, this is about how we're wired, that if they're successful in worldly terms, money, power, pleasure, fame, then happiness comes for free, and that's quite wrong. Yeah. The truth of the matter is that if you shoot for happiness in terms of the habits that the happiest people have every day, you will be successful enough. And that's the beautiful truth about life. The trouble is that people don't quite believe that.
In your teaching, you use data and science and all of the tools of the Enlightenment to make your case.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a behavioral scientist. I suffered through a PhD for a reason. and 30% of what I teach is actually neuroscience. So it's very important that people understand that this is not just woo-woo. This is not just happy talk. This stuff is really grounded in randomized treatment control experiments and what we know about how the brain works. It also happens to sync up pretty nicely with Aristotle and all the major world's religions, and all that stuff turns out to be pretty right, but we know why now.
When you're teaching this to students who are going through all of this, how do you start them down the path to meaning? Because this sounds awfully hard. I would like to go have fun, and this sounds like a lot of hard work.
Well, they want meaning. They really do. The problem is they don't quite know how to articulate it. And so I ask them a series of 2 questions, an exam, a happiness exam, but based on meaning. And I'll do that right now. So everybody who's watching us should think about the answers to these questions in their life. Number 1, why are you alive? Very hard question. And it might be, who created you or for what reason? Second question is, for what would you give your life happily right now? You fail the exam if the answer is, oh no, or there are no answers. But that's good news, because now you know what to go in search of. If you feel an emptiness in your life, go searching for the answers to those 2 questions. And it's going to be amazing what you find out about yourself.
As you've been a teacher, what has surprised you the most about your students?
Number 1 is how hungry they are to absorb these particular ideas. When I introduced the class Leadership and Happiness at the Harvard Business School, I didn't know if it'd be popular at all. Now I have hundreds on the waiting list, and it's so encouraging to me that people want to treat their own lives as a project. And this is what we can actually do in America today. Do we want a better country? We need to have a happiness movement. And when we do that, then we start to see real change, and we'll feed this insatiable hunger that people have for more love and happiness.
We have seen students graduating from college or in that age range having a difficult time in both the job market and also with these sets of questions. What would your guidance be to somebody of that age?
It's tricky. You know, when you're in your early 20s, there's 2 problems. Number 1, you have to prove yourself to somebody who might hire you, and something else, you got to figure out what you want to do. And those things are both big mysteries. One of the things that I encourage my students to do is to think of their life as having kind of adventure and serendipity to it. It's actually perfectly fine if you don't work within your major. It's perfectly fine if you're not making as much money as you thought you were going to. Life is long, and then think about the rest of your life as part of this patchwork of interesting ideas and things that you can do. Take your leisure life and your relationships with as much seriousness as you actually take your work, and think, look, you got 24 hours a day, maybe 7 of it is sleeping. The rest of it is going to be made into these different kinds of projects that all fit together into a happier and happier life.
And one of the building blocks for anybody trying to take this journey is the Happiness Files, which is a collection of essays. You write a weekly column in the Atlantic. So
exactly right.
Get it in the book and then keep getting it in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Arthur Brooks, thank you so much.
Thank you, John.